No artificial intelligence was involved in the creation of this episode of The Ron Van Dam Show. As a matter of fact, very little intelligence of any kind is typically involved in the creation of The Ron Van Dam Show. You're listening to Ron Van Dam on New England Broadcasting.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Thank you so much.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. Yes, it is the Ron Van Dam Show. Don't argue with me. Not in the mood. Make yourself comfortable. This won't take long. Thank you for being here. Thanks for coming. I know you didn't have to do this, and I appreciate it. I really do. So thank you individually from my heart to your face. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to ask you at the very top of the show, I've been told by my social media manager I must do this. Please go out of your way and like the show. Even if you don't like it, still like it. It doesn't hurt you to do that. It's just you just click on something. I don't know what, but you click on it, and all of a sudden you've expressed that you like it, even though you probably don't. Just consider it a sarcastic remark if that's the case. Then I want you to follow me. Look, now I'm over here. Come on, follow me. I'm over here. Okay, now I'm over here. Follow me. Simon didn't say follow me. So what are we doing? What are we doing here? Simon says touch your nose. Simon says touch your ears. Touch your face. Simon didn't say to touch your face. What are you touching your face for? Enough. That's the opening talk while the theme music plays in the background bit. I've been doing it for years, and I apparently will not stop. Thank you for being here. Okay, I've thanked you enough, to be honest with you, to the point of ad nauseum. I went to the supermarket yesterday. I do it frequently. The supermarket to me is like a kid in Disney World, or Disneyland, depending on where you live. Yeah, it is. It is. When I go to a supermarket, it's aisles and aisles and rows of all different kind of foods. And that to me is Disney World. If only I could afford it, right, huh? Anyway, yeah. Remember when toilet paper used to be so cheap? It's like, oh, just take a roll and go home. You know, it's funny. It's a funny story, but it's not all that funny, really. I like you. I used to like you. I like you. Similar to you, I had a 9-to-5 job at one time in my early youth. Before I got into the radio and TV thing, I had a regular 9-to-5 job. I was a manager of a distribution location. Yeah, I know. Ron, you did that? Yeah, I did. Hey, 9-to-5, man. God damn. Anyway, so it was a company, and they had a utility closet where they kept toilet paper and, copy paper and stuff like that. And every once in a while, people would go into this room and take a couple of rolls of toilet paper home with them. And the company didn't know it, but they should have known it. Hey, where's all the toilet paper going? We've only got 6 employees, and we're going through like 20 rolls of toilet paper a week. How is this possible? I think we're hiring people who have some astral problems. By the way, astral is not a word, but it really should be. Problems related to the ass should be astral problems, right? I know. I should have done this language. I should have written the dictionary. I just don't have time. How's it possible we're going through so much toilet paper? Well, your employees are taking them home. You know, there are certain items that you should never, ever buy because they're free. They're not really free, but they are free. If you buy a pen or a pencil, you're wasting your money. They're everywhere. Just take one. If you're not supposed to take it, wait till they turn their back and then take it. The pens are free. They're all over the place. People give them away. Companies put their names on the pen, so when you take the pen home and you write something with the pen, then you see the name of the company and immediately it'll make you buy something from the company, which is absolutely absurd. It never happens like that, but companies think it does, so fine. Make the pens and give them to me. I'm not complaining. I'm not going to buy stuff from you because you gave me a pen. Seriously? Is that what you think? You think when I'm writing something down, which most people don't do anymore, by the way, that I'm going to stare at the name of the pen as I'm doing it? Come on, man. Get a life. But hey, it's advertising. You know, advertising is not the company making money from the advertising. Advertising is the advertising company making you believe that that'll work. And you know it's true. Don't ever buy a pen or a pencil. You're absolutely ridiculous if you do that. A canvas bag, a bag to carry things around. Don't ever buy one of those. They give them away all the time. When you buy a cucumber at a supermarket, they'll give you a big bag that you can use the rest of your life, and it will never decay because it's made of plastic. Never buy something like that. Don't buy toilet paper. It's all over the place. Take a roll. You know, it's hard to walk out with the toilet paper. In the winter, it's easy to walk out with stuff. In the summer, not so much. Hey, what's that bulge in your pants? I gotta go. Why would you buy something like that? It's free. Everything's free like that stuff. Did you ever go to a Dunkin' Donuts or a coffee shop? You ask for some coffee. Then you walk over to this little tray that they have on the table, and it's free. Just take as many sugars as you want. Why would you buy sugar? Why in the world would you buy sugar when it's free? Go to McDonald's or Burger King or one of those fast food places or something like that, Subway, I don't know. They've got the little ketchup packets. Why would you buy ketchup? Who would buy ketchup? They're free. Mustard, don't buy mustard. Mustard's actually very healthy for you. It's all over the place. Put it in your pocket. You can walk out with that stuff even in the summer. There's no bulging going on. Why would you buy something like that? It's free. And the list goes on. Just use your smart head and figure it out. Don't shoplift. But if they put it out for free, you take it for free. Okay? It's your way of giving back. Or taking back, I guess is what you call it. I really don't know. So I'm in the supermarket. Oh, God, Ron, you started talking about this 10 minutes ago. Will you get to the point? Sure, stop it. Just stop it. Went to the supermarket, and there's a big sign over a certain section, and it says organic. And I still don't know what that means. I've done interviews on this show with these food experts who talk about organic food. I listen to them talk, but I don't understand what they're saying. I don't know what that means. Isn't everything organic? Doesn't everything come out of the ground? Don't all the vegetables, don't they all come out of the ground? I think they do. So what's with this organic stuff? And it's far more expensive. And it doesn't look any better, and I don't know if it tastes any better. To my understanding, and I know I'm wrong, is that the organic stuff, they don't put pesticides and all that stuff on. It's just like totally natural. So like why? So why am I talking like that? So organic should be cheap because they don't do anything to it. It comes out of the ground. They don't spray it. They just put it in the supermarket. That should be the cheap one. The one where they use the insecticides and spray them and do all that stuff and, throw the hormones into it. I don't know what they're doing to the regular stuff. That should be the stuff that's more expensive because they're doing stuff to it. The organic, they're not doing anything to it. That should be the cheap stuff. It makes no sense. I'll tell you something else. When I was growing up, there was a thing called a telephone book. Kids, I know you don't know what I'm talking about. Yes, it was on a different planet. They had things called telephone books. And if you wanted somebody's telephone number, it was in that book. And the book was free. The phone company, there were phone companies back then too. Oh my God, things have changed so much. The phone company would give you a free phone book, another free thing. God, there's a lot of free stuff back then. There was. Air was free. Remember that? Remember when you went to the gas station and they would fill your tires up for free, or you could fill your own tires up, and now the air was free. They didn't charge you. Now it's like $0.25 for every 20 seconds. And that's on the cheap side. Remember when air was free? Remember when they used to check your oil? See if it was low or dirty. They did that for free while they filled up your car. You didn't have to get out of the car, do it yourself. They did it for you. It didn't cost you a dime. That's changed too. Now the car tells you when the oil's low. You don't need a guy. And they were guys. Sorry, girls. They were guys. Anyway. So there were phone books. Now, I never wanted my telephone number to be released to the general public because I'm paranoid and I don't like people. So I went for the unlisted number. Now, the phone company, in order to have an unlisted number, you had to pay them extra not to list your phone number in the phone book. That never made any sense to me. If you wanted your phone number printed in the phone book, that was free. If you didn't want to print it in the phone book, that cost you money. So I'm paying you not to do something. Everybody else gets the free number in the phone book. Me, because I don't want it in the phone book, I have to pay not to have it. It makes no sense. A lot of things make no sense. That's what I base this show on. All the things that make no sense. And I've been doing this for about 30 years. I'm sorry I keep saying that, but I have. It's the only thing I can do to make myself feel worthy. 30 years of pointing out things that make no sense. And still, the list goes on. It's amazing, but it's true. Because times change and things that make no sense change too. Oh, the old things that make no sense, they still make no sense. But now there's new things that make no sense. So I've got a lifelong career here. Because nothing makes any sense. You know what makes the least sense of all? Human beings. Human beings. Now I'm doing a lot of interviews with companies that are trying to promote artificial intelligence. I know what you're going to say. Don't even bother saying it. It's the stuff we've been warned about for centuries now. That someday we are going to create things that are smarter than we are. And that, believe me, would not be difficult. It's amazing and scary as well. I'm starting to get scared about it. So, anyway, we'll pursue this subject matter on a future show, but we're getting out of hand. We're just getting out of hand. Humanity is getting out of hand. For a while, it was under control. Back in the 50s and 60s, and maybe even the 70s and 80s. and maybe even the 90s, things were under control. Then we hit the 2000 mark where we skipped centuries, which is just a calendar thing, actually. And it seemed like starting in 2000, we started becoming really stupid. We really were always stupid, but we were not visibly stupid. Now, it's out of the woodwork. We actually raise our hand and say, "Excuse me, I'm making decisions that are incredibly stupid." It's true. You got an election year. Ooh, this is not going to be good. Ooh, someone's going to get hurt, and it could be you. Ooh, it's not going to be good. Now we've got protests again, just like we did in the 60s with the Vietnam War. Now we're protesting the involvement with Israel because Israel is being stupid. Sure, a horrible thing happened to them, and retribution is unfortunately the human thing that we do. Under the circumstances of what happened to them, totally get it. But when you retaliate, you just don't do it willy-nilly, Willie. Now, they got a difficult situation. I get it. College students, they're protesting the humanitarian retribution that Israel is doing upon the Gaza Strip, which they're not retaliating against the Gaza Strip. That's where the battle is. So it's a humanitarian thing, and Israel is being condemned for it. But none of the protests are protesting Hamas to release the hundreds of hostages that they took well over half a year ago. No protests there, baby. If you're going to protest, protest fairly. Protest both sides. Come on. Your protesting is falling short. But what we're doing now is we're outwardly showing our humanity. That's what we're doing. And I guess that's just the way it is. And that's the way it is. We'll pursue this subject matter in more depth as time goes on, but I have no time right now to do that. I have an interesting guest coming up momentarily. Perhaps a few guests. I really don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the show. I don't have this planned out today at all. Sometimes the better shows are the ones that I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Do you ever have a day like that? Where you get up in the morning and I have nothing to do today. Or I don't have a lot to do. I've always got something to do, but I don't have a lot to do today. Sure, I got to take care of the kids. I got to go here. I got to run the errands. I have to take them there. I got to go this. I got to make money. I got to do all that anyway. But not a lot today. So I do have a lot of free time. I have nothing really planned. I have decided today I am not planning anything. And then you get to the end of the day and you realize that was a pretty good day. I had nothing planned, but it was a really good day. Well, that's the way I do this show. And usually that doesn't work out accordingly, but what the hell? Okay, that's enough talk on my part. I've talked long enough. Seriously. You need to do some projects around the house because it's springtime? Well, I got the guy for you.
Hi, this is Bob Robinson from Bob's Handy Around the House. I'm a local handyman. I've been in business for the last 50 years on my own, doing light repair work in our area. Whatever you need done. Carpentry, painting, floors, tiling, yard work. I can do it all for you. I'll come to your home and do the work for a very reasonable fee. Naked. I should probably mention that I will be naked while I do this work. Buck naked, not a stitch on me, waving in the wind, in my birthday suit, showing what God gave me, naked as a jaybird. I'll be naked the whole time. I show up naked, I do the work naked, you pay me while I'm naked.
Bob's handy around the house, Bob Robinson. You can look me up on Facebook, where I am naked.
Kelly Jones joins us now. She's a board-certified specialist in sports diets, media, nutrition, communication. She's a busy mom. She builds houses. She does everything. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Ron.
Okay. I don't. The housing thing, you really don't do that. Okay.
No, I don't, but
okay.
I'd like to think I do it all.
Okay. If I say you do, then you do. They don't know. Anyway, we're talking about potatoes, and I assume because you're a sports dietitian that being healthy and moving your body is important, but what you put in your body is also important.
Absolutely. It's National Physical Fitness and Sports Month, and potatoes are America's favorite vegetable, so it's perfect to talk about the two together. And they're America's favorite vegetable for good reason, because obviously they taste amazing, but they're also a nutritional powerhouse and a key source of energy for these active lifestyles that we lead.
What is the main nutrition vitamin that you get out of potatoes?
Well, there's a lot of micronutrients, but a medium skin on baked potato is actually going to provide us with more potassium than a banana. And this is important because potassium helps our muscles function, and nearly 98% of people are not getting enough of it. On top of that, a potato also delivers nearly 1/3 of the vitamin C that we need every day. And we keep hearing about protein. I know everyone's trying to think of creative ways to get more of it. And per serving, you're going to get 3 grams of plant-based protein from potatoes.
Wow. And I know potassium is for blood pressure and blood health is also important.
Absolutely. So when you think about all the people dealing with heart health issues, and again, 98% of people not getting enough potassium, that's definitely an important nutrient to focus on to reduce our risk for high blood pressure and stroke.
Wow. You mentioned potato with skin on it. I've often wondered, is there any value to the skin itself?
Yeah, so the skin has fiber. It adds additional potassium and nutrients. So whenever you can keep that skin on when it serves you in your recipes, absolutely do so. I love to eat baked potatoes with the skin on, and you can incorporate it when they're roasted and in other recipes as well.
Yeah, because, some people might be saying, I love French fries. I go to McDonald's a lot, and I get the big thing of French fries, and I sit there and I eat it. That must be good for me. Not necessarily, right?
Right. Well, potatoes are considered a vegetable, right? But we want to think about, how does that fat that's added in when you're having fries or other types of potato preparations, how does that fit into my overall lifestyle? And we obviously can indulge sometimes, but when we can, you might want to do some hand-cut fries at home, maybe use the air fryer, just ways to reduce that fat and get more healthy fats in our diet too.
Yeah, because I know some people do the baked potato and they put sour cream and bacon and all kinds of stuff on it. Well, you're kind of like getting away from the potato when you're doing that.
Right. And again, we can have those things sometimes, maybe think about having those toppings in more moderation and adding in more protein and vegetables. And we'll talk about some baked potato preparations here too. But, generally speaking, no matter someone's activity level, we absolutely can focus on using potatoes to provide us with energy. A lot of people might shy away from the idea of carbohydrates, as we know what different things we're seeing, especially in social media for people. We want people to understand that carbohydrates are not the enemy, and they're actually the primary source of energy for our bodies and for our brains. So you think about these busy lifestyles we lead, certainly for parents, this is something to consider. I'm a mom of 2, and I know how much energy it takes to keep on top of kids and everything they have going on. So we don't want to just think of potatoes for performance of athletes. We want everyone prioritizing these active, busy lifestyles to think about optimally fueling their body with the energy and nutrients we're getting here in potatoes too. And carbs are actually sparing of protein. So protein sparing means when we have enough carbohydrates available, like the complex carbohydrates in potatoes, it spares protein from being used as an energy source. Then it can focus on doing what it does best, which is serve as building blocks for the tissues in our body.
There are different types of carbohydrates. Some of them are good for you.
Right, absolutely. And especially when they're nutrient rich like this and providing other vitamins and minerals too.
Let's talk about recipes. You alluded to it. Now I really want to hear some so that I can make some potatoes that are still healthy for me.
Absolutely. They should be a staple in your house. They're affordable. They last so long. They're versatile. And I've got lots of time-saving tips with the recipes here today, too. One thing you absolutely have to try is a prep-ahead potato frittata. You can make them in muffin tins. And if you're prepping them ahead, add in some additional veggies like bell pepper maybe, a little bit of cheese if that's something you like for flavor, maybe some breadcrumbs on top. And then after prepping, you're going to freeze that. And then on a busy morning, pop them in the microwave for 1 minute, and you have a really quick breakfast on the go. So super simple. Another thing that you can do to prep ahead is make the ingredients for a power bowl. I absolutely love power bowls at lunchtime to pack in lots of flavor and nutrition. One that you can find at potatogoodness.com is a Southwest-style potato bowl. So over kale, you can also have some quinoa and corn and black beans in addition to your potatoes. It can be a good plant-based standalone or add some salmon, even tofu for additional protein. But potatoes can be used in any sort of power bowl that you like because they're a great blank canvas for flavor and actually can help promote feelings of fullness.
Okay.
And that's absolutely delicious, but one of my favorite hacks to save time is using the air fryer. You have to love it because it cooks potatoes faster, and they always come out incredible, but you can make baked potatoes in the air fryer too. 30 minutes, time saver, and then just add additional protein like chicken or black beans. Make it a veggie multiplier with things like roasted red peppers, maybe some spinach, seasonal squash, and really, again, any combination of those toppings is great to build a balanced plate to fuel our active days.
Yeah. I take a baked potato and I put little fork holes into it, and I put it in the I put it at the oven at 425. And in that way, inside it's like really like soft and nice, and outside is that crisp skin.
It's a little crispy, right?
Oh man, yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and if you don't have an air fryer, you can actually power cook it in the microwave for a few minutes too to speed up that process, and then do it at 425, like you said, to get that crisp.
Yeah, really nice. Okay. Wow, so air fryers actually, I thought it was a fad for a while, and it kind of was, but they actually do, you can do everything without throwing oils and grease into it, yeah.
Absolutely. I thought so in the beginning, too, when I jumped on the bandwagon. I'm so happy I did, especially as a mom. Easy way to reheat foods, too, like our potatoes.
Yeah, not bad. All right. Well, this is fascinating. It's a good idea. Some people shied away from them because they had gotten a bad rap, but you're showing us that no, they're good. Just like eggs. Eggs got a bad rap for a long time. Now
they did, but absolutely, and they're a great pairing together, potatoes and eggs.
Oh, they are. There's your breakfast. Okay.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah, some onions in there too. They're also good for you. Boy, now I'm getting hungry. Thanks a lot, Kelly.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Kelly, where do we go for more information about all of this?
You can get more information, these recipes, and more at potatogoodness.com.
Perfect. Pleasure speaking to you. Thank you for your time.
This episode of The Ron Van Dam Show is brought to you in part by Gary. You know him, you love him, it's Gary. Looking for a little help around the house? Give Gary a call. Painting, gutter repair, maintenance, Gary's your guy. Looking for a classically trained violinist? That's Gary. Does your kid's birthday party need a juggling magic clown? Gary's on his way. Can't perfect that chocolate souffle? Here comes Chef Gary. Tricky algebra problem got you stumped? Gary has the answer. Need a spleen donor in a hurry? Get Gary on the line. Want to start, continue, or complete your ninja training? Gary is here to help. Still wondering who murdered your rich uncle and why? Put Detective Gary on the case. Need an ancient Sumerian text translated? Give it to Gary. Trouble trimming your bonsai tree properly? Gary and his clippers are headed your way. Spouse unsatisfied in the bedroom? You could use a little Gary. Brought down a wild boar with a bow and arrow and need it expertly butchered? Sounds like a job for Gary. Need a rival bumped off? Gary knows a guy who knows a guy. Looking for a drag queen in a hurry? Gary's ready to sashay on over. Constipation? Time for Gary. Need a flamethrower for reasons you'd rather not discuss? Whoosh, Gary's got one. Thinking that maybe some unnecessary surgery is just what you need? Gary's removed more kidneys in a weekend than most doctors do all year. Wondering whatever became of your high school girlfriend? Gary knows right where the witness protection program put her, and he has her number. Whatever you need, whenever you need it, and for whatever reason, you know who you go to. It's Gary. Gary is available 24/7 in all 48 contiguous U.S. states and by special arrangement for requests in Alaska, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Guam. Contacting Gary does not constitute a legally binding agreement or contract, and Gary cannot be held liable for any damages that occur in the course of fulfilling the request. Gary does not openly accept monetary compensation, although such compensation will be accepted if offered, and the acceptance of said compensation does not constitute a legally binding agreement or contract. Any arrangement with Gary will be considered null and void if you ever ask what his last name is.
Well, that'll do it for me today. I'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new program. But until that time arrives, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, before you deliberate, I wish you peace.